Hello and welcome to episode 1 of the Bracy Briefs on the Bracy Sports Media YouTube channel. Today is August 16th, 2025. My name is Aaron Bracy and I have covered Philadelphia sports for nearly 30 years. I plan to use this space to share some quick hitter thoughts on the Big Five, the Eagles, the Phillies, the 76ers, the Flyers, and anything else happening in Philadelphia sports. In addition to here, you can find me at Bracy Sports Media on Facebook, Aaron_Bracy on Instagram and Twitter, Aaron Bracy on Blue Sky. You can listen to my podcast, Bracy Sports Media, wherever you get your podcasts. And you can follow my coverage of the Big Five at big5hoops.com. My book, A Soaring Season, the incredible, inspiring story of the 2003-04 St. Joseph's Hawks, is available wherever books are sold. I'll also be putting a link in the comments. You can order a copy for a special price of $25, which includes no shipping, no taxes, no fees. Big Five Hoops will cover all that. I can also autograph the book if you'd like. There's a space in the order form to include that as well. I'm currently working on my second book, which is going to chronicle Allen Iverson and the 2000-2001 Philadelphia 76ers. I'm about 3 months into the research process. I've done 10 interviews so far. It has been exhilarating, thrilling, a lot of work, but I'm just having a blast doing it. You can find an update on social media on Saturday. I put out a little peek into my notes. I'm a very much paper and pencil person, and I gave a little glimpse into my notes. You can follow the updates on the book by using the hashtag 2001 Sixers book. You can also follow me using the hashtags 0304 St. Joe's book, Big Five Hoops, and hashtag Philly Sports. Okay, let's get rolling with our quick hitters for August 16th, 2025. And the theme today is going to be resilience. I'm going to start with the Phillies and Taijuan Walker. Taijuan's in his third year of a 4-year, $72 million deal. In 2024, Taijuan had a 7.10 ERA. He was booed. He was left off the Phillies postseason roster. And he has bounced back in 2025. He's made 25 appearances, 14 starts. He has a 3.59 ERA. He has done whatever manager Rob Thompson has asked. He's bounced between the starting role and the bullpen. And I just think it's really admirable the way that Taijuan Walker has shown resilience. He's going to be making a start for the Phillies at 4:05 on Saturday against the Nationals, and we'll see what he does. All right, let's switch gears to the Eagles and talk about quarterback Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts also showed resilience. He was benched in the second half of the 2017 national title game. He lost his starting job at Alabama in 2018, forcing him to transfer to Oklahoma. The NFL's own website, as they evaluated him during the combine, said he's going to struggle to beat NFL defenses from the pocket. He's an inconsistent decision maker. Of course, was not picked in the first round of the NFL draft, and yet he has gone on to become one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. Obviously led the Eagles to the Super Bowl last season, and again, just another example of resilience. Okay, let's move on to the 76ers. First round pick VJ Edgecombe, the number 3 overall pick out of Baylor. I didn't know that much about him before the draft, and to hear him talk after the draft, and he grew up in the Bahamas, and he said, we came from nothing. And looked into his story a little bit more, lived off generators before moving to the United States, but there was always that belief and that you can do whatever you set your mind to, in spite of whatever circumstances you're in. And just another example of resilience. Okay, let's move on now to the Flyers. Longtime captain, former general manager Bobby Clarke turned 76 years young on Wednesday of this week, and he is another example of resilience. Listed at 5'10", 185 pounds, an undersized player, and also some people might not know that he had type 1 diabetes during his playing career, and yet he didn't let his size, he didn't let his diabetic condition derail him, slow him down. Bobby Clarke played in 1,144 games. He scored 1,210 points. A point a game, a little bit more. Player, captain of the Flyers, Stanley Cup champion in 1974 and 75, and another example of resilience. I'm going to close it out here with not necessarily an example of resilience, but I wanted to go in to the St. Joseph's Princeton game a little bit more. The game, reportedly by John Rothstein, is going to be played potentially in Trenton, not at Jadwin Gym, not at Hagan Arena, at a neutral site in Trenton. I put out on Twitter, why not the Palestra? And it would make so much sense to me to play that game at the Palestra. The fan experience, fans could hang out at the New Deck Tavern before the game, walk over to the game, and I think it's so important today to think about the fan experience. And while the Palestra is the home of the Big Five, it is closer to St. Joseph's campus, obviously, than the arena in Trenton. I do think it's still a neutral site game if that's what Princeton wanted, which I'm thinking that's what is the case. And I just think the game would be better at the Palestra. Also, that game is potentially going to be November 30th. They could play a triple header at the Palestra that day. The first part of the day would be the doubleheader for the Cathedral Classic, with the 4:30 game being Penn against LaSalle. How about closing it off with St. Joseph's versus Princeton in the evening? So, something to think about. That's the Bracy Briefs for today. Hope you enjoyed the first episode of the Bracy Briefs. Again, check the comments for a link to a Soaring Season, special price of $25. Please subscribe to the Bracy Sports Media YouTube channel and check me out on all other platforms, Bracy Sports Media on Facebook, Aaron_Bracy on Twitter and Instagram, Aaron Bracy on Blue Sky, and the website is big5hoops.com. And again, coming sometime soon, hope to have some announcements. Well, I don't know how soon. I'm going to be working on it for a while, but the book on Allen Iverson and the 2001 76ers. Thanks for tuning in, everyone, and have a great day. Talk to you soon.